Aaron Rodgers is done in Green Bay and with the Packers.
I'm gonna sell this statement so freaking hard. As much as I'd like to buy it and say he's gonna put on a Niner uniform next year, there's almost like if you look at contractually, if you look at from an Aaron Rodgers standpoint, from a Packers standpoint,
hmm
just from a whole NFL standpoint, there's no reason that he should ever leave Green Bay. There's he always prided himself that he wasn't Brett Favre. He tried to distance himself so much from
So
what that
much.
mold looked like.
hmm
And you leaving Green Bay at almost like close to near the height of your powers, you just won an MVP. If you leave and go to any other team, let alone a rival team, because everyone's saying, "Oh, he's going to go to the Bears, he's going to go to the
No
Lions," and despite
way.
there's no
No
chance
way.
Aaron Rodgers does that. I think the bigger risk is losing him to Jeopardy rather than losing him to the actual NFL team. I
I'm
mean,
I'm sure he's
it
going
just
to kill
doesn't
it.
it just doesn't make any sense. He's got 3 years left on his contract. There's no way they're cutting him or getting rid of him. The only way that he's going to be able to get out of that is demanding a trade out of it. And I just don't think that he's in that position. I mean, he's revered in Wisconsin. Everyone
hmm
loves him. They think of him as the king. I don't think he wants to ruin that status that he has in that city and that organization by demanding a trade out of there. I just think that if something's going to happen, it's going to be done behind closed doors. And Aaron Rodgers is never going to be vocal about wanting to get out of there. I think he's just a very introspective guy, and when he makes those comments, everyone wants to get their flashlights out. But I think he was just like making a comment because that's the kind of guy he is, and that's just like kind of what goes through his head, and he just says what he thinks. But there's
Th-
no chance he leaves Green Bay next year.
This whole situation, it's kind of interesting to me because if you look at it, for a couple years now, and I mean, stuff we've been saying this season, but they haven't really been trying to help Aaron Rodgers that much. I mean, honestly, the most help that they've given Aaron Rodgers over the last maybe 3-4 seasons, you could argue that the most important thing they did for him was to fire Mike McCarthy. That's
Yeah.
probably been the best thing they've done for him in the last 3, 4, 5 years. They haven't brought in wide receiver help. They've had Devonta Adams. I mean, he's developed in this guy. I mean, your run game is developing, but they haven't really tried to bring in stars to put around this guy. At
They
least
seem
from
to only
outside
try to
sources.
develop the tight end position too. They bring in a ton of tight ends, but they never bring in a receiver. They never bring in like a high profile running back.
And we'll say it again, Alex, because we've only said this 100 freaking times this year. But they drafted his replacement by trading up for him, a guy that probably could. You could just wait till the second round for Jordan Love. Okay, you could wait till the second round for Jordan Love. He's not a first round talent, not a guy that you trade up for. At the least. And you always Green Bay has never really had a great defense, or at least a solid defense that you can rely on. It's always been on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers. It's always been Aaron Rodgers having to win the football games. Everything's always come down to him. It's either he plays amazing, they win a Super Bowl, or he plays good to great, and then they don't win anything meaningful. All the weight of the franchise's success has been on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers, and he's worn that burden very well. He's handled it very well. But at the same time, it's so weird that they haven't done more for him. The greatest quarterback that they've had in team history, arguably the most talented quarterback in league history up to this point. I mean, Patrick Mahomes not included because he's only 3 years into it and he's going to break every records anyway, so there's no point in mentioning him. But it's weird. It's at the least this whole situation is weird. You have team execs saying that they're going to keep him. Yeah, their CEO coming out and saying we're not idiots. Okay, but that's also coming from that's coming from the team that draft Jordan Love, didn't give Rodgers any help. Kicked a field goal when he needed a touchdown. Uh, and there's some league executives around that have been saying that they're expecting a bitter divorce in this situation.
Well, I
So,
mean, if you're another league executive,
of course you're going to say this, right?
wouldn't you
Of
want the
course you're
media to
going to
be
say
like, yeah,
this.
this thing's not going to end well in Green Bay. Like, let's get
Just
this
give
guy
the
out of here.
ideas in there.
Like,
And
well,
also,
duh.
it helps. It takes away maybe a little more leverage that the Packers have in a trade scenario. But with all of that being said, he's more than likely going to be in Green Bay. I know that's a boring answer. He's more than likely going to be in Green Bay. But as the days go on, I am not sold on his future with the Packers. If I was a betting man, Alex, if I had to bet the house, I'm betting that he stays with Green Bay. That's a safe bet. But if he goes to another team, I will not be shocked in the least. He's not going to go to another NFC North team. But if he goes to the Niners, and I wouldn't be surprised to go and send him back home, but also send him to the team that skipped him out of the draft. Yeah, so we'll get into that. But for now, it's a very, very, very hesitant sell in this statement.